Get your popcorn ready because it's time for a movie watching party on Asteroid G. You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G, voted Tulsa's best coffee shop 2 years in a row. I'm Mike Finkelstein. With me, as always, is
Josh Schaefer
and Queen Bee.
Today we are talking about Supernatural, specifically for a watch party because you guys are way invested in that show and I couldn't give a damn.
Boo!
So, to make you happy and to prove that I could try, because I did try to watch the show once, way back. A friend of ours, way back in the day, bought, the first couple seasons for my ex-wife and I, actually. And I think I made it all the way up through the 12th or 13th episode. Yeah, Faith is the one where they went to a pop-up church or something. I made it that far, and the show just did not hook me. But you, Josh and Queen Bee, you are both way into the show and have watched, all 16 seasons of it?
I haven't watched this season yet.
Yes, no, I have. I'm done. I've watched all of them.
Okay. And there will be another season coming
final episode. Yep. Yeah, except for the last final, 4 or 5 that they're going to show.
5, 6, whatever, yeah.
This year, yeah.
Yeah. So, as a show of good faith, I let you pick a couple of episodes for me to watch. And you guys decided to go with, first off, Mystery Spot, which is 2 fairly self-contained episodes, Mystery Spot being the first of them. This one is kind of Groundhog Day meets Supernatural. The 2 brothers, Dean and...
Sam,
thank you.
Sam and Dean, yes.
Okay, I know these characters. I don't know these fucking characters.
Dean's always first.
Whatever. It's the Dean. We were just talking about Community, so. Now, I gotta tell you, if it was Sam and the Dean from Community, I probably would have already watched this entire series.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, so the brothers go to a town because they hear about this professor or something that goes missing. They start exploring around where the professor went. They end up at this, junk tourist mystery location where curious things happen. They break in at night because that's their MO for when they're doing cases. The proprietor of the mystery spot finds them, shoots Dean?
Yes, Sam.
Sam, thank you. And then Dean wakes up right back in his bed at the start of the day all over again. For whatever reason, he's stuck in a Groundhog Day story and has to go through this whole day over and over again until he figures out how to save his brother or something, or at least that's the setup.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, that's essentially it. Sam and Dean investigate the disappearance, and then Dean is shot and killed by the owner.
Yep.
Sam is devastated, and then he goes into the whole Groundhog Day thing, correct?
Yep. So, Josh, why did you choose this episode?
So I chose it because I personally think it's funny because I love Groundhog Day situations. It's fairly self-contained, and I think it highlights Dean's acting ability for comedic, because I think that episode was kind of one of the turning points where they started kind of being like, this shit's kind of goofy, so we're just going to lean real hard into just kind of tongue-in-cheek making fun of ourselves.
Well, I will admit, the parts I liked best of it were Sam's I don't know.
Younger.
Sam's long hair.
Which one of them was on, so he was the one that was on Gilmore Girls.
Correct.
Yes.
Sam. Okay, so Dean is the older brother who I hadn't seen anywhere before.
Yes.
Okay. So
he was in Dark Angel.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that.
Oh, yeah, he was.
So, Dean is the one that dies over and over again. And he's also the goofier of the two. He when they're first waking up and every day, and it's the same song because they're doing Groundhog Day, playing on the radio, and it's Asia's something or other. I can't remember the song. Heat of the Moment.
Heat of the Moment.
He's just really goofily rocking out to that song. That worked really well. And a lot of his reaction shots when his brother Sam is telling him what's going on, Groundhog Day over and over again and all that. His just deadpan reaction shots were fantastic. I don't know that on the whole, though, I really cared that much about this episode at all.
Oh, the plot wasn't the important part, Mike.
Okay.
It was... Your criteria was self-contained episodes.
My criteria was something that would make me want to watch this show.
Well, you should have.
I mean, it's a fairly standard Groundhog Day episode, and there are
Right,
a
it's nothing
lot
special.
there are a
Yeah.
lot of Groundhog Day episodes on the CW at this point. Like, Supergirl's done it recently, Arrow's done it recently, Legends of Tomorrow has done it recently. Like, you can't escape doing a Groundhog Day style episode at this point in just about anything now.
No,
Yeah. So, like, going back to this now, when this was out in 2007, it was a little fresher then than it is now because you didn't have every CW show doing it at that point. Hell, I think if they can figure out a way to do it in Riverdale, they'll probably do it at this point.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Jesus. Fucking show. So that mechanic wasn't interesting. The back half of the episode where the Groundhog Day breaks and you're waiting for the other shoe to drop because
The trickster.
well, I get the brothers' names confused again. Sam, Dean, one of them shot and doesn't get back up this time. And so they're like the other one's in mourning and spends like 6 months driving around the country trying to find the trickster that actually caused this whole Groundhog Day thing to start. That was interesting to me and actually put a nice spin on the material.
Yeah.
It still was very plot dependent though, and I think this is because of where the show shows, like the whole episode shows up in the chronology of the series. Because the original creator, Kripke or whatever, he only stayed on for like the first 5 seasons. That was his self-contained story he wanted to tell. And the moral of this episode was that the brothers, like one of the 2 brothers is just fated to die, and the other one needs to stop fighting and at some point just going to have to let his brother go. That was the whole point.
yes.
Yes. But you know, then they go another fucking 13 seasons, so
Worth it.
And essentially, it's the same plot over and over again, which is
It really
it's always
is.
the 2 brothers who one of them is always fated to die. Sometimes they're both fated to die. Sometimes they do die, and they somehow come back every single time.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've heard that they both die at least once, have to go to hell, save the other one, do a bunch of other stupid crap. Hell, the 6th season even makes mention of that in the episode you guys had me watch. And
Yes.
we'll bounce over to that in just a second, but the whole overarching story of it, I think, is the part that lost me the most, just because, you know, I'm watching 2 episodes picked out of the series, and for self-contained episodes, they are largely self-contained, right up to the point where they suddenly get very plot-heavy into plots that I know nothing about.
Yeah, that's the issue with picking up 2 episodes because there's better. Like in my opinion, there's a lot of episodes that are better than those 2, but the self-contained aspect of it is
Okay.
tough. So
Okay. So the next episode you guys had me watch for this watch party was The French Mistake.
that's what was not the French Connection. I'm dumb.
Which apparently came right after Mannequin 3 The Reckoning, which I gotta tell you, I love that title for an episode, okay? Apparently all the episodes here this season were based on movie titles.
Yes.
Interesting. I like it. Anyway.
Yeah, their titles are always pretty on point.
Okay.
So anyway.
So The French Mistake. In this episode, the guys are at a cabin which may be their home, I don't know. And they're trying to plan for something or other that's coming up. That's part of the plot that I didn't know anything about. And then an angel they've been working with randomly shows up, sends them into an alternate dimension to keep them safe, where they're the stars, Jared Padalecki and what's his face?
Jensen Ackles.
Thank you. They're the stars on a show called Supernatural, even though they have their memories of them being actual characters in Supernatural. And they have to navigate the quote-unquote real world while they figure out a way to get back to their world.
Correct.
And of note, which I find interesting, this episode was written by Ben Edlund.
Yes. He's actually a producer from season 2 to I think season 8, maybe?
See, now you're actually finding something that makes me interested in watching.
Yeah.
Ben Edlund has a great weird streak to his writing. Again, The Tick, also Angel. That actually makes me halfway curious.
Yeah. So that's why I keep telling you, first season you have to watch it for backplot, but season 2 on for a long time, Ben Edlund is
involved?
I think that he's heavily involved. He's an executive producer and writer, and I think he directs a couple episodes, maybe.
He's written over 157 episodes for Supernatural.
Yeah.
Looks like he bails around season 8. Looking
Yeah.
at like writing credits, and that's pretty much the end of his run.
Which one season is that? The Leviathan?
He also helped write Mystery Spot, by the way. Just he was a co-executive producer on that.
Season 8. Sam Dean reunites with Sam after escaping from purgatory because one of them died. Obviously, came up with a prophet to complete a series of trials that will allow them to close the gates of hell forever.
Oh, nope. So, yeah, so that was a good season. So the one after that is when it starts kind of,
Okay.
And then it picks back up. But
Anyway.
anything with Ben Edlund in it, I will watch. So
let's get back to the French mistake. What about this story, guys, made you want me to watch this?
So I just thought it was a hysterical episode because I really appreciate that, Supernatural as a whole is kind of a dorky romp. And I can appreciate when people kind of, self-reflect on that a little bit. And this episode seemed to me was just like they know how ridiculous the show can get. So they really showcased it, and all the actors and actresses kind of, I guess, hammed up themselves and just...
Well, it's kind of like a quasi breaking of the fourth wall kind of situation.
Yeah.
Jared Padalecki is actually married to the actress who played Ruby. She is his actual wife. They got married after meeting on the show. Jensen Ackles' wife has also played characters within the show occasionally. So it was fun to see that they've all kind of come together to do this episode, and seeing like the actors play themselves as actors
playing
very badly
supernatural characters. Yeah.
And just like some of the stuff too, like when they were looking at the stuff they did, and they had that shot from the old soap opera.
That was great. I liked that.
Yeah, and he was like, whoa. And just like everything about Misha Collins' character, where he was just like tweeting everything.
Okay, I will admit to you, he did not sell me as an actor. Like, after he did his fake performance as himself on the, like, for most of the episode, you then see him show up as his actual character for, like, the tag part of the ending there. And, my God, his performance was exactly the same. And I'm like, wow, this guy's terrible. Sorry,
don't pick on Castiel.
Castiel's a beast.
He's the angel on my Christmas tree.
Okay.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is.
That's awesome.
Okay. There were parts of this episode I really liked, and I did like the idea of sending them into the real world, quote unquote, to like be a part of their own TV show. I thought that was very amusing. There was some good humor mined from it, having the characters trying to navigate all of that, so forth and so on. I really liked that. I also, amusingly, because you were trying to make a Bill Murray reference off audio, his brother is the director in this episode, Brian Doyle Murray. Yeah. Just a nice little touch there. It's very funny in places. I do enjoy this in places. I don't know that it came together for me.
A couple parts where it was kind of
yeah, and I guess the ending is just like suddenly they're just snapped back because the angel that sent them there decides they're done being sent there. Like it's like the whole episode sets it up as a puzzle they need to solve, and then they don't solve it, and they're just like pulled back in because it's convenient, and that didn't work for me so well.
I can see that. Yeah, if you had more of a understanding of the formula the TV show uses, I think it'd be a little bit better.
I mean, I watched 12 episodes at the very start of the series.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Okay.
I like how they tease each other about their names, too, as actors. Too. Like,
what are you, Polish?
Right? I think it's Lecky, not Padalecki. No, I'm pretty sure.
Why can't people have any normal names in this show?
Exactly. Yeah, but there are other good episodes that you didn't have to watch. There's one that kind of echoes the whole going into the TV and playing out a Scooby-Doo episode. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I
almost picked that one.
You almost picked the Scooby-Doo episode?
And the convention one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the convention one's good, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are late in the run, though. I can see why you didn't have me watch those.
Yeah, there's still some story stuff, and just in case you wanted to watch it, I didn't want to have anything too plot heavy. Because there's the LARP episode I thought was pretty funny too. As much as I don't like Felicia Day, but
so don't you like Felicia Day though, Mike?
She's okay. The guild was funny enough.
Yeah, I like the LARP episode. I think that one's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's interesting because from the sound of it and what all happens, the show goes from being very like serious and tonally heavy to suddenly just lightening up, almost like Legends of Tomorrow.
kind of, but it does like a very good like seesaw where you'll be like, oh, ha ha ha, this is funny, and then it just will punch you in the gut, and then you're like, God damn it! And then the next episode will be gut punchy, and then it'll just kind of slowly revert back to just being goofy, and yeah, it's an emotional roller coaster.
It really is.
So 17 seasons in at this point, and you're still hooked?
Yeah, there's a couple bad episodes. Like there's episodes where I'm just like, oh, but I mean, you'll have that with any show. So, and it's good for background watching too, because it's not, since it's on the CW, it's not very. I mean, it can be pretty visually pleasing. Like it gets better as the show progresses, but
I really enjoy Jensen Ackles over Jared Padalecki in most of the episodes. Jensen Ackles, he does this thing when it, like, hard rock music comes on, and he's really just goofy with it.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that about him. So I have two favorite characters in this show, which is Jensen Ackles. I like Dean Winchester. A lot of the angels, the actors they brought in to play the angels. Crowley was my favorite demon angel that they brought in. And then the one who plays their uncle, what was his name?
Bobby,
thank you. The one who played Bobby, the actor who plays Bobby. I love Bobby in every episode.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What?
Bobby's been in a lot of stuff.
Yes. Yeah. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby episodes are always good episodes.
But I also like the sheriff that used to play the mom for The Sweet Life.
Oh, yeah. She's really good, too.
Yeah, I like her, too. So, those are my three. Bobby, Jensen, Crowley, and the sheriff.
Sheriff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dean and Bobby a lot, and Castiel. For the most part.
He's the angel on my Christmas tree.
So I don't know if you've convinced me yet to watch this show, but I'm not necessarily as opposed to it. I do like Ackles better than Padalecki, though.
Yeah,
he's the better actor of the two.
I agree. Yeah. Well, I think Padalecki kind of I like both of them in their own, for the different reasons, but Padalecki, I think, takes it more seriously, and Jensen's just like, nah, fuck it, like we're getting paid regardless. Like,
I'd seen Padalecki on however long he was on Gilmore Girls, because my ex watched through the entire show, and it's not a bad series. It's not one I'd watch again, but it's not bad. And I never was impressed by his acting there either, so maybe I'm just holding that against him, but he still seems like often they cut to him for a reaction shot or for a deep character moment, and he just kind of looks like this lost deer in the headlights. Like,
yeah, he's a little wooden.
Yeah,
but which is they also kind of make mention of that in that French Mistake episode too.
A little.
But
I did notice they didn't bring up any of his past acting roles, unlike with Ackles and his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just they have different attitudes about what they're doing too.
Anyway, anything else you want to talk about with Supernatural before I cut you guys off?
Well, just some manner things for those who like Dean. What's his name? He's now on The Walking Dead. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He plays the dad. He does come back towards the end of the last season, playing the dad one last time as a nod to the show. And in Supernatural, they do pay homage to him by having kind of a Lucille in a scene or two. Also, For those people who do enjoy Supernatural, it does appear that it will be coming back in 2021. So at least you'll have that. And for anybody who cares, Padalecki will be joining Walker, which is like the shoot off of Walker, Texas Ranger. There's already a pilot in production, and it does not look like Ackles is in anything yet.
No.
So
I'm sure that I'm surprised they didn't both just be like, we need to take like a little hiatus for a while, like.
And maybe that's what he's planning on doing, since it does not look like he has anything new coming up yet.
Yeah, because
Padalecki or Ackles is the one moving over to Walker?
Padalecki, long hair.
Padalecki.
Ugh, that'll be unwatchable.
But hey, I appreciate him because he's tall. There's not a lot of tall people in Hollywood.
From all the artwork, it seems like Ackles is taller, honestly.
No.
No, Padalecki is taller. Padalecki also had a brief stint in jail about the end of 2019. Yeah, 2019, and he got in a fight at one of his bars. He actually owns a bar, I think, in Texas, and he got in a fight with one of his employees, and he was actually thrown in jail. So
yeah, he looks like the kind of guy that would.
Yeah, so things happen.
Yeah. He has to get that money to pay that dude off.
Probably. Anyway, but there's a lot of good episodes of Supernatural, but I feel you have to always watch a show from the beginning to the end. I know Mike doesn't like that, so
that's how I do it.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah,
but you can't get through it.
Yeah, no, and that's the reason why I stopped. I watched the first 12 episodes, got bored, and haven't been able to pick it back up since, which is the reason why this show is gone for 16 seasons, and I've watched now, at this point, 14 episodes.
Yeah, season 1's a little rough. Season 1 is very much so Buffy season 1.
Yes.
I like Buffy season 1.
Well,
but it's the same reason. It's the same reason why, despite the fact that I like Dulé Hill as an actor, I cannot get through Psych, even though you swear up and down about that show, Josh, because that first season is rough.
It is.
And I could not get into it.
The first, I think, 7 or 8 episodes of Psych Season 1 are really rough.
Yeah.
Psych Season 2 through Psych Season, 4?
4 or 5, yeah.
I think it's Psych Season 2 through 4 are probably the best parts of the episodes. 5 starts getting a little boring.
Yeah. Because it was 6 seasons, right?
I think so.
And a movie. Yeah. Quite literally.
And now they're doing a second movie, I guess.
Yeah.
No, the saying is 6 seasons in a movie. You have to stop it there.
Well, they couldn't do the Psych movie wasn't exactly what they wanted to do because the Timothy Oldmanson, who played Detective Lasseter, had a stroke.
Oh, okay.
So they.
Once he had a stroke, that's sad.
Yeah, so so they had to kind of like dumpster fire. Yeah, because it got fucked up. So like he's in it for a little bit, and you can tell he's just coming out of a stroke because it's like on a Skype video call, and it's kind of sad. But that movie I felt that it kind of fell flat on its face, but
they're trying again.
But for someone who loves pop culture the way you do, I'm really surprised you haven't been able to make it through.
Yeah, well. So
understandably.
On a final note about Supernatural, I can kind of see why it changes after first season, because it switches networks, technically.
Yes, it does.
Yep, moves from the WB to the CW, and I could see the executives on the CW asking for a bit of a retool when they took over ownership at that point.
Yeah, and Ben Edlund, I think, was on from episode 1 of season 2.
I mean, they probably I'd have to look at when Angel ended, but I could see him being like, "Well, I'm free now. Let's go work on another TV show."
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, Tick doesn't pay the bills.
Well, we'll see if I can get back into this. These couple episodes were decent. We'll see. We'll see.
That's better than this is complete. What did you call it? Not trash, but.
I was uninterested.
Yeah, Taco Bell diarrhea or something. I don't remember.
It wasn't that bad. It's not Riverdale.
No, yeah, I tried to watch Riverdale. I couldn't get into it.
That's enough. That's another discussion for another episode. But anyway, This has been Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein.
I'm Josh Schaefer.
And I'm Queen Bee.
And we will see you next time.